Adam Hill, Vinny Bonsignore here at the Raiders facility in Henderson, and we were with you guys about an hour ago. We said to stay tuned. We said that there could be more information coming. We weren't lying to you. That this has happened. This is a fluid situation in the Raiders game Sunday night against the Buccaneers, scheduled for 5 o'clock here in the Pacific time zone, has been moved. A 1 o'clock kickoff now. The Seahawks-Cardinals game will be the primetime game on NBC, all because of a very fluid situation involving COVID-19 with the Raiders. And Vinny, a lot of moving parts here.
Yeah, this is what we know. Trent Brown obviously has tested positive for COVID-19. That was the result of a Tuesday test. But in addition to that, all of his starting offensive line mates, Colton Miller, Gabe Jackson, Rodney Hudson, and Denzel Good, plus safety Jonathan Abram, have now been deemed high-risk contacts to Brown. They were in that process, which meant they missed yesterday's practice and obviously missed today's practice. But now they've been fully deemed as high-risk contacts, which means they go on the COVID-19 list. And the earliest they can come back, if they clear a bunch of hurdles, is Sunday morning, maybe Saturday night, which means that the Raiders could be looking at the possibility of just force-feeding an entire offensive line into a lineup on Sunday with zero preparation time, hours just of preparation. That's not ideal. And it's one of the reasons why the NFL opted to go ahead and switch games out to at least have a Sunday night primetime game in place just in case this game, Raiders-Buccaneers, gets postponed to Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah, and you mentioned that high-risk contact. That was the key to me, is kind of what made this decision more likely. We were waiting to find out if they were deemed to be high-risk contacts or just regular contacts. These are all terms we're just kind of learning in 2020 here with the NFL. Turns out they are high-risk contacts, so they were placed on the list, even without the positive test, so they won't be able to come back for a few days. And at that point, I think the league said, okay, there is the possibility that something goes down with this game in terms of maybe moving it back to Monday or Tuesday. And as you said, they couldn't be left with a last-minute decision that left no primetime game on Sunday night for NBC. So you move the Cardinals-Seahawks game into Sunday night in primetime. Raiders, the 1 o'clock kickoff, the normal national game on Fox. And then if they do have to move it, it becomes much, much easier to move that schedule around. But logistically, it is a real difficult situation here for the Raiders to try to prepare for a game where they don't know who's going to be able to play on the offensive line and if they're even going to have enough bodies on the offensive line.
Well, that's the thing. You know, this isn't a situation where it's a cornerback and a running back and a wide receiver. You know, that would be bad enough to have individual players at individual positions not be available. This is an entire group, an entire offensive line, and by nature, this is a protective position. They're protecting the quarterback. They're protecting running backs. It's a dangerous, violent game, and I don't know how conducive or prudent it is to just throw a group out there of backups. Yeah, these guys can back up in an individual situation along with other starters, but when you're talking about moving an entire offensive line of backups into play a game, how prudent is that? You know, if you're the NFL and you're thinking about the quality of play, the protection of players, you might want to hold off just to give the starting group a chance, or everyone besides Trent Brown, because I don't think he's going to be available regardless, a chance to have a day or two to prepare before having to go play a football game. I think it's obviously on the minds of a lot of people. We'll see where it all goes, but that would be, I think, the preference around the Henderson building, because it's hard enough preparing for games without a starter here or a starter there, let alone your entire starting offensive line.
And let's also look at the fact that you're left with now only 5 guys that are even able to practice that are offensive linemen. You've got 2 on the practice squad available, but here's the thing. You can't even sign any new guys. They wouldn't be able to clear protocol in time unless those games get moved back to Monday or Tuesday. So a real messy situation here, and we're waiting more from the league to find out if there is any more movement in terms of the day the game is played with the Raiders and the Bucs this weekend. Also, where the investigation goes, because there was a report from the NFL Network this morning that the league is investigating exactly what happened here, and potentially Trent Brown not wearing the tracker that everybody has to wear when they're here in the building. So the investigation continues, the protocols continue, all of that continues.
And that is standard protocol to begin with when there's multiple players that in a situation like this, then the league takes another step in terms of the investigation. But it sounds like what that investigation may have already been uncovering is some loose interpretation of some rules by Trent Brown, and we'll see where all that goes. But it's not a good situation regardless.
Yeah, and just to clarify for you guys, if you're a lot of people not really up to date necessarily what goes on, everybody in the facility wears a tracker. We have them on right now. I have them in my back pocket. Heidi's wearing one as she records this. Everybody's wearing one, so it becomes somewhat of an easy-ish procedure to go back and say, hey, who was around who was near who, and check it out that way. But if not everybody is wearing the tracker, it becomes a little bit more of an in-depth investigation and a process to figure out. So they'll go through all that. They'll figure it out. Again, we told you earlier, stay tuned and make sure you're around us. I don't know if you heard it right now. We just had a buzzing going on right now because there was people close together here. So yes, that will continue. And we said earlier to stay tuned because it's a fluid situation. We weren't lying because it has already changed here. Again, 1 o'clock instead of 5 o'clock for the kickoff. 4 now on Sunday against the Buccaneers at Allegiant Stadium. If anything changes, make sure you check out reviewjournal.com, Vegas Nation, get the app, subscribe, download it, everything else, and you'll hear the latest news. Follow us on Twitter as well for all the updates on what is going on with the Raiders and the Bucs on Sunday night. Thank you guys for checking it out. And again, we'll probably be back with you later today. Who knows what changes between now and then.